Let's go. Here we go, number 1 of the Chapter 9 review packet. How about it? A rhombus has one diagonal that is 8 centimeters long. Okay. Perimeter is 64. How long is the other diagonal? So what I'm going to do here is draw myself a little rhombus. Okay. And I'm going to draw my diagonals. Okay, it says, hint, what type of angles do the diagonals around a rhombus form? Well, they form 4 right angles, and they bisect each other as well. So I know that my perimeter is 64. Well, the unique thing about a rhombus, if you remember, is that all 4 sides are the same. So if it's 64, 64 divided by 4 is 16. Every single side is 16. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Yes, we know. 4 and 4, and I'm just going to put x and x. So what I'm looking at here is a right triangle. Boom. There's my right triangle with the 4, x, and 16. That means 16 is my C value. So I go 4 squared plus x squared equals 16 squared. 4 squared I know is 16. 16 plus x squared equals 256, which is 16 squared. Subtract the 16, x squared equals 240. Square root both sides. What's the perfect square that goes into 240? It is 16 and 15. So x equals 4 root 15. Remember, I want the length of the entire diagonal here. All right, so I do 4 root 15 times 2. 2 times 4 radical 15, or 4 root 15 plus root 15 to give me 8 root 15. I have 4 root 15 plus 4 root 15. Okay. Someone keeps knocking on my door. Here we go. Why don't you leave me alone for a minute? Thank you so much. I'm not actually talking to anyone. I'm just talking to myself here. Here we go. So solve for the missing side. We're going to find AB. So that's x. Oh, look, there's our right angle. That means this is our C value. I do 3 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. 3 squared is 9 plus 36 equals x squared. We're just using what? What are we using? The Pythagorean theorem here. Don't you forget it. X squared equals 45. Square root both sides. I want to find a perfect square that multiplies into 45. That's 9 and 5. So that is 3 radical 5, which means AB equals 3 radical 5. Wow. So much fun. So much fun that I'm almost done. Just kidding. I've got so much more. Here we go. Close the door. Solve for the missing angles. Hint is to use trig. So I'm going to find B first just because I feel like it. All right. And I'm going to label my sides O, H, and A. Remember SOHCAHTOA. So I have ka, which means I have cosine. So I'm going to say the cosine of B equals 3, which is my adjacent, over 6. Remember, ka. All right. So then remember, if we're finding a missing angle, we need to use the inverse trig function. And I can leave it as 3 over 6. This question came up in class the other day. Do I have to reduce this fraction? You can. You could say 1/2 and you'd still get the same answer. So let's check it out. Do we get the same answer? Cosine -1 of 3 divided by 6 is 60. Cosine -1 of 1 divided by 2, also 60. This is a special angle here, which we'll discuss in your future class. But I know that angle B equals 60 degrees, and then angle A, that means equals 30 degrees. So this does end up being a 30, 60, 90 triangle. However, a mistake a lot of people make is just to assume that, okay? You cannot assume that this is a 30, 60, 90. We can't assume that. We want to use trig to find it. Let's try this one. It's a altitude on hypotenuse. This is a small, medium, large triangle problem. So it says if DG is 2 and EG is 32, find FG, DF, and EF in that order. So in that order, so I'm going to find that first, which is X, which means I'm going to use my small and my medium triangles. So I'm going to redraw those here. 32 and then X and 2. So what appears twice? Oh, X does. X over 32 equals 2 over X. Wow. X squared equals 64 after cross multiplying. Square root both sides. X equals 8, which was F, G. In that order means find D, F next. So I'm going to call this Y. Now I have a small right triangle where this is 2, this is now 8, and this is Y. Holy buckets, stop having so much fun. 2 squared plus 8 squared equals Y squared. 2 squared is 4. 8 squared is 64, so I got 4 plus 64 equals Y squared. Y squared equals 68. Square root, oh my goodness, stop having so much fun. Y squared equals root 64 can be root 4 times root 17, which is 2 root 17. Let's keep going. Close the door. Don't forget. Holy buckets. Get out of town. This is Z. So now I got what do I have here? I have 32, 8, and Z. So I have Z is my whatever, hypotenuse, my C value, 8 squared plus 32 squared equals Z squared. That ends up being 1088. And the perfect square that goes into 1088 is 64 and 17. So that's 8 radical 17. Wow. That's it. We're going to pause here for station identification, and we'll continue on later.